happens when you combine geocaching, statistics, and a love for storytelling? You get Emilierene, a trailblazing geocacher who's just as excited about charts as she is about ammo cans. In this episode, we talk about her journey from Pennsylvania to Oregon, why she chases a quad Jasmer, and what she's learned when the finds don't go as planned. Let's dig in. Welcome to Cache Like a Girl, the podcast where we celebrate the incredible stories of women geocachers. I'm Lookout Lisa, founder of Cache Advance and the Cache Crate, and a passionate geocacher since 2002. In each episode, you'll find inspiration to fuel your geocaching adventures. Let's cache like a girl and make our mark on the map. I would like to welcome our Ask a Girl podcast.
Hi.
So welcome you there.
Thanks for having me.
So I see you all over the place on YouTube and Facebook and in person. Georgia.
Right. Just a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I thought it would be really fun to get to know you a little bit better since you're not exactly in my backyard, but not too far
Right.
away, just the next door in
That's right.
Oregon. So your caching name is Emilierene.
That's right. My first name and my middle name combined, just spelled a little different than my first name. Kind of one of those internet things where you have to take what's available. And Emily with a Y
Right.
wasn't available. Yeah.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah.
Okay. But I like that. When I first saw, I'm like, how do I say that? But then it totally
Right.
makes sense
Absolutely. A
sometimes.
lot of people get hung up on that, but just like my real name. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So, I guess we'll just start with some basic questions around your geocaching.
Yeah.
So, how did you first discover geocaching? What drew you into
Yeah,
it?
so this is so cool to me. I was looking at the website for the movie National Treasure. So this takes us back to 2005, I think, or maybe four, I think five. And they had links to real life treasure hunting. So there was things like Where's George, that old dollar bill game, and also geocaching, of course. So I took a look at it and that I knew right away that this is something I wanted to do. It kind of took me a little bit I made an account right away in '05, but it took me until January of '06 to find my first cache because I wanted to have like a shared experience with somebody. And so I just, kept trying to organize something with somebody. And finally, a few months later, at the beginning of '06, I found my very first cache.
Awesome. So, do you remember that first
Oh,
cache?
yeah. It was a multi-cache. So that's, kind of unusual. You had to go to an old graveyard. It was a very small one, but it's where a Pennsylvania governor was buried, an old 1800s governor. And then you used information from his gravestone to go find the cache. And so this, of course, is days of GPS. And I had no idea you could put the coordinates in the GPS. So it's January, it's after work, so it's dark, and we're walking around the woods. We knew there was like a giant hole in the woods, trying to avoid that. We're trying to walk, make the north and west coordinates match up, the total failure. So I went home, read the manual for the GPS, figured out you could put the coordinates in, tried again the next day, and found the cache. It was an ammo can in the woods too, so that was a description, that was a hint. And I was like, I don't know what an ammo can is. So funny for, looking back, an ammo can is like the thing you want to find now. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's amazing that you stuck with it because you had so many challenges just
Right.
trying to
I was hooked,
how
bro. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Awesome. Yeah. My first cache was an ammo can in the
All
woods
right.
too.
Very good.
So, what was the most memorable or unique geocache that you've ever found? And what made it so special?
Yeah. So the first one that comes to mind is, unfortunately, it's archived. It was called Tunnel of Fun, I believe, on the Oregon coast. So several hours north of me, but it was a beautiful lookout, which you can get a ton of those on 101. But this one was way, way, way up high in the cliffs. And so it just looks like a normal parking lot pull off, but you have to go over the guardrail and then down the cliff, and there's like a thick wire guide because this is technically for like public service access because you went into an under the highway cave. So I think it was meant for maintenance, but someone hid a cache under this highway tunnel So you have the exhilaration of going off the safe places, off the highway and down the cliffs, holding onto a guide rail, entering a tunnel that I don't know if you're supposed to be there or not, but hey, the cache was, I did it. It was fabulous. So that one's a good memory. I actually heard about it on a podcast long, long ago. And then I moved to Oregon and had the chance to find it. So that was a really neat.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So when did you move to Oregon? It was from Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania to Oregon 13 years ago. Yeah, in 2011.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had a whole new playfield.
Absolutely. That was the best part of moving. Right. Yeah.
And using geocaching, I'm sure that really helped you learn your new neighborhood.
Absolutely. Yeah. People were like, go find this. My geocaching friends, it's by that cache, and then of course exploring through geocaching. Yeah. That's exactly how I learned my new area.
Yeah. I've learned so much even about my own area here, Spokane,
Right.
just through geocaching.
I love that.
Part
I love that part of it. Yeah.
For sure. Awesome. So have you hidden any caches?
Yeah, I just hid some 2 days ago. Yeah, so I enjoy hiding all kinds of caches, looking at what maybe my area doesn't have. So I just hid a UV cache because it's been a lot of years since we've had such a thing in this area. So just looking at different things that I can bring to our local community.
Oh, that's awesome. So like a night cache, someone would need a UV light for.
Exactly.
Oh, cool. So geocaching often takes us to unique places, like that cave that you were describing under the freeway and such. What's one of the, is there another really cool place that you visited?
Oh, let's see. Oh, there's so many neat ones. I have such a hard time picking favorite places, because I enjoy every experience. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I love going to Seattle headquarters area, Fremont Geotour, so there you go. That's just another really neat experience. And then most people are doing the trifecta. I actually did the trifecta my very first year of geocaching. Somehow I learned about it. I actually planned the trip to HQ first, and then I learned more. I didn't even know about the ape stash, but accidentally learned about it. I was just curious about everything. I read every part of the website I could. So I was reading people's logs about HQ, and they're mentioning this ape cache. What's that? So I did a trifecta very early on in my career. So that's a good memory too. Yeah.
That's
With the
awesome.
original
Yep.
stash, of course, down in Oregon in Portland area. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of the mecca for
Yes.
a lot of cachers. It's a big bucket list to be able to get those.
Yeah.
little
And it
caches.
certainly should be. It's a good experience. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you mentioned about a podcast earlier, and I know that you're on the podcast. Yeah, the challenge, Geo Challenge Talk. Yeah, tell me, how did you get started with that?
Yeah, so Geocache Talk wanted to break off into some specialty shows. And I think, I'm a little bit of addicted to geocaching. And so they thought of me, thankfully. And so I co-host Challenge Talk podcast. And so we are really into, I sometimes call us the nerds of the nerds, the really nerdy ones. So we're really into statistics and challenging ourselves, whether it's formal challenge caches or something else. And that's what I love about it. Like, what is something new that I can do in geocaching based on a challenge that someone put forth and gave me a new perspective, kind of like the Geo Challenge of the month. It gives you a guidance for something to do very specifically while geocaching.
Right. So is that what draws you to doing challenge caches?
The statistics, yes. The very first time I learned that there are geocaching statistics, again, I just ate that kind of information up. Someone who maybe statistics wasn't like in school doesn't sound super exciting, but when it's about your hobby, oh my goodness, I ate it all up. It kind of opened my eyes to the different variations, every chart that was out there. And then the statistic program showed me the holes in my charts. That's it. Those were my new goals instantly. And so I'm constantly looking at those even to this day. Did I fill in the chart? Now, how can I loop that chart and make that chart happen, several times over?
Right. Yeah. Like triple Jasmer or
Absolutely.
something.
Yeah. I was supposed to get triple Jasmer this year. I've been working towards that for a year, but didn't happen. But it's still something fabulous to work towards. I'm definitely working towards quad Jasmer. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Lots
Okay.
to
I'm close to a double
So
Jasmer.
when you really start working on it, you kind of hit those loops a little bit easier. Yes, there's the one in Sweden that we have to go to. So that makes life a little harder, but, or the quest a little harder. But all right, darn, we got to go to Sweden. Oh,
Right?
well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've only been to Europe for just a little bit of time, and I did get some
Oh,
caching in,
good.
but looking forward to a dedicated caching trip
Oh, I
just
know.
to.
Same here. I have a funny story. I went to London as a geocacher, but it was again the days of GPS only, and my
Yeah.
GPS came with North American based maps. My brain said, "Okay, this isn't going to work in Europe. Oh well." And I know I was in places in London that had caches looking back, and no
Huh.
caches from London. Oh well.
I have a London story
Yeah.
too. Share with you really quick as well. It was, I think 2005 when I was there. Same thing. I had a handheld GPS and I had done a pocket query. And so I thought I had some caches that were in
And
London. I had no map. So it was just
right,
points on the
right.
map. Pull it open. All the caches are 30 miles away. Somehow I got a coordinate wrong
Oh,
for the pocket
yeah.
query. So I didn't have any caches near me. But I had a free afternoon, so I went to an internet
Mhm.
cafe and was able to get some coordinates for a couple of caches, and I did get a couple
Very
ones.
good. And that's what we had to do back then. Smartphones weren't really a thing. So, yeah, back then it was sit at your computer, plan for your outings.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I lots of time on the computer before I left. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out.
Yeah.
So speaking of
Yeah.
planning for
Mhm.
caching, how do you organize your challenge, the challenges that you're working on? How do you keep
Yeah, so
organized?
mainly through bookmark lists. So I'll keep multiple lists, whether it's, and I'll name the list so I can see if it's something that's just really caught my eye and I throw it on a big fat to do list, or if it's something that is going to be very specific to help me achieve something. And then I'll gaze at my lists on a map. So I'll look at the bookmark list on a map and start to envision. Um, a trip based on that. And I love to plan a road trip. So that's what I've really been working on the past few years. Few years before
Uh-huh.
that, I was really focused on getting to a geocache in all 50 states, which was a really fun quest. And then after that, it became more of looking at points on a map to figure out what road trips I can take to achieve certain things. Yeah.
Okay. Do you use any special software for organizing your road trips?
Okay, yes. I just learned Cache Tour this year. So Cache Tour had a big learning curve for me, and it might for other people too. But once someone sat down with me, and it didn't even take long, but they just took the time to show me, and it was actually my co-host for Challenge Talk, Merlin 1392. He gave me time. He showed me what to do, and now I love it. Absolutely love it. So you can organize your days, the whole trip into sub trips of days, and it will calculate times and distances for you. That really helps because then I know, okay, you're packing a little too much into this day. You didn't even plan time for lunch, so you got to pull this back a little bit. Yeah. So I have really grown to love Cache Tour this year. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've played with it some, and I need to dive back
Yeah.
into it for planning bigger
Yeah.
trips. Yeah,
It's great.
most of my trips are around megas that I get to attend,
Within,
and I'm just a little busy. I have to
right?
work.
Squirrel off playing on Mega Day and you're you're at the site all day long. Yeah.
And well, we try to go early and stay
Yeah, there
late,
you go.
cashing
Mhm.
in, but it doesn't always work.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing you down in Homa. You guys were after the event taking a alligator tour or a swamp tour or something like that. Yeah, should be.
That was so much
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, it was the same guy that had brought in the
Oh,
alligators.
yeah, to the hotel? Very good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got to
And
hold the little tiny alligator in the hotel over at GeoCoin Fest. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We had a big group and that went out on one of his tours, and he's actually become a friend of
Oh,
ours.
fabulous.
So yeah, it's amazing all the people that you meet, of course, through geocaching.
And boy, do I love that. I love the community. I love going to these big events, seeing sometimes I'm seeing people who are they're only my going caching friends. That's the one time a year I see them, and now that going caching's over, we'll have to, find new places to meet up. But boy, do I love my geocaching friends. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've made a ton of
Yeah.
friends for
And
sure.
even there's so many that I haven't even met in person. And then when you meet them in person, it's even better. Yeah. So got a lot of those online geocaching friends too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, that's great. Good. Let me see here. So, is there a specific statistic that is your favorite one that you track, say, weekly?
Oh, I do. I'll admit I like seeing where is my rank in Oregon? What number am I as far as, and I know that comes down to numbers. So I wouldn't call myself addicted to the fines, my number. Half the time I can't even remember my number, but that's a fun one to check on. Like, oh, I just got back from a big caching trip. Did that rank me up? How many slots? So I like looking at that. Um, so yeah, that would be the one I look at most often, besides Jasmer being my big long-term thing that I gaze at and plan. Yeah. But that one, every month rolls around and you have to keep it current. And like I said, I'm working towards quad, so I have to get at least 4 new ones every month to keep it current. But,
Oh, yeah.
for the old ones, it just really comes down to biding my time until I can take those trips to find those old ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So what's your next trip?
Oh, I'm trying
What
to
do you have?
figure that out. I'm trying to figure out my 2025, maybe going to Cache Fest in Hawaii. I've got a cousin getting married in Pennsylvania, so I'll get to go back home for a visit. Um, and because of that, I won't get to go to Geo Woodstock. It's too many trips out east, too close together. But maybe a trip down to West Virginia Tim Caches. I know I'll be with my parents for the family wedding, and they really enjoy that kind of stuff too. So maybe we'll get to do that next year.
Well, that's
Yeah,
awesome. So your family geocaches as
that's
well.
right. Yeah. My mom and I do a
Yeah.
lot of road trips together. My dad's a little bit older than her, and he's like kind of over the fast paced. But if there's something really neat that I want him to experience, we'll slow it down and involve him too. My mom and dad and I went to Gilby and they loved it. My dad absolutely enjoyed all the creativity. So I think he would absolutely enjoy going to do WV Tim catches too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I have yet to get to Gilby. We're for some reason saving it for a special occasion.
Whenever you get there, it will be fabulous. I think everyone who's heard of
Yeah.
it will absolutely agree. I can't imagine anyone who wouldn't want to go to Gilby. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. We're excited to go see all of Chad's
Yeah.
tricaches.
And
Caches.
Fargo is such a fun town too. I love Fargo. So both those areas are good to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually have family there, and it's Kid Vegas 19, my husband. Um, it's his last state.
Good.
Even though
Good. And the visitor center in Fargo celebrates people who's when North Dakota is their last visited state. That's great.
yeah. So we're excited to check it in
Very
there when you
good.
finally get.
Very good.
Yeah. Let's see. When you're not geocaching, what else do you like to do?
So I do a lot of stuff with local people, local friends. So, or stuff at church. So I help with the kids at church. I also help with the young adults groups with my husband. And yeah, we just enjoy the people in our lives. So again, I kind of like people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Community
that's
focused.
right. That's
Um,
right.
your own local community and then the geocaching community at
Right,
large, for
right.
sure.
And I like when those two things can combine and when there's something neat going on in the community and I can be a representative for geocaching. Sometimes I've been able to help with the Geotour and other things in the past.
Okay. Okay. Is that the Bend Geotour?
There was actually a Cache the Coast Geo Tour. So there was a segment for the South Coast and the Central Coast. Yeah.
Okay. For
Yes.
Oregon.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, kind of cool. Somehow I missed that
Yes.
one.
I mean, there's a lot of geo tours out there, which is fun. I love those too.
They're like a challenge
They
as well.
are. And travel, it's a good combination of everything. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And then you get a coin as well.
Love those coins. Yeah.
Do you have any of your own trackables?
I have never made a coin. I've heard about the tags that you help people make. I think that sounds awesome. So I've mainly done path tags up to this point. I like to
Oh,
make
sure.
signature tags, and there's a current group going to celebrate 25 years of geocaching. So I'm coming up with my ideas for that path tag. So that's mainly what I've done so far.
Um, so what advice would you give to someone who's just starting out geocaching?
That's a good one. I would say learn. There's so much to learn. So have fun while you're doing it, but jump in and try to figure out what you can learn. So many new people don't even know there's a website, and you can learn so much from the website. So the app is
Yeah.
great. I'm glad there's free options to get people started, but jump into it and learn what you can. Because, I think a lot of us have experienced this. You don't know what you don't know, and there's so many creative options. So if you don't even know that a difficulty of 3, but a terrain of 1, that tells a story and of what you might be looking for. And so that dig deep, dig deep. And then also, I think this would be a hard sell, but kind of like me moving to a new area. If you cash out your area, you might be a little sad in the future. So it's fun, but if you can maybe cast a vision on what you want to do with geocaching and that statistics exist. So that might take a little bit of one-on-one, some mentoring. And that's even a good reminder to me. I had someone find my cache this weekend and it was their very first cache. So I try to reach out to people, say, welcome to the game. I'm happy to answer questions about anything you want. And then even on that note, I try to invite people to events because I think situationally things have changed over the years and people don't come to events and therefore don't really get folded into the community. So I try to give a personal invitation to newbies and definitely come to those events, meet the community. I think that can really build the game and give it a lot of meaning if you're a people person.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. Yeah. So go to the
Mhm.
website, read up. You don't know what you don't
Yeah.
know. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And then
Community.
go to
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Especially with the pandemic, where we couldn't have
Uh-huh.
events or maybe weren't comfortable going to them when they finally did open up, or they didn't even know that they
Right.
existed.
Yeah. And especially the special ones. I'd really invited people to the local GIF events or other ones that have a really unique theme to them.
Any advice that you would give for other women geocachers, maybe if they're a little bit unsure about getting started or
Uh-huh.
how to, have bigger, bolder adventures?
Yeah.
What
You
advice?
know, I I learned a long time ago to be comfortable being alone. It's no big
Yeah.
deal. If you want to do something, go out and do it. Don't be worried about being alone, eating alone. Even, they talk about go to the movies alone if you want to go to that movie. So definitely just give it a try. If you haven't found someone to go with, have fun. You will find your community, but listen to your instincts. I definitely have had to learn when to walk away from a situation that cash is calling, but if it's just not the right time, it's okay. You don't have to find every cache. You can go back a different day, a different time, try again. So listen, don't be so blinded. I can get very blinded because I'm very excited when I go geocaching, but stay in tune with that side of yourself too.
Yeah. That's great advice. Yeah. Just be comfortable going by yourself for
Mm.
sure. That's how I started
Yeah.
caching and a lot by
Yeah.
myself. I still do. Uh,
Yeah.
yes, you definitely want to be aware of your situation, your
Mhm.
surroundings, and Yeah, you're right. The cache isn't just going to
No,
disappear. Well, it might, but there's plenty others out there for
yeah,
sure, millions of them for us to go
that's
find.
right.
So, yeah, choose another
Mhm.
perhaps. Something makes you feel uncomfortable for
Yeah.
sure. So, if you could go geocaching with a historical figure,
Ooh, what?
your time travel, bring him up. Um, who would it be, and why would you like to cache with them?
Oh, that is such a good question. Historical people. Let's see. Oh, Lisa, I don't know. You know who comes to mind? And maybe they're not so old historical. I kind of have an affinity for long distance trail hiking memoirs. So I want to meet these awesome people who are doing awesome things, but also tell them, hey, do you know how many geocaches you're walking by? Let's go geocaching. Let's combine your interest and my interest and have a great day. So I absolutely think about that every time I'm listening to a new memoir. Have they ever gone geocaching? Stop to
Yeah.
smell the roses on the
Well,
trail.
right. Yeah. And the
Okay.
caches. So that would be like folks that are hiking the Appalachian
Yes,
Trail or the Pacific Crest
absolutely.
Trail.
Yes. Mhm.
Oh, yeah. So some fascinating reads for
Yeah,
sure.
and they're celebrities in their own circles, kinda like how we have our
Yeah.
geocaching celebrities. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I think all established activities do have
Right,
their
yeah.
celebrity. Yeah. Yeah. And we need to hear their
Mhm.
stories. And that's another reason why I'm doing this
Yeah.
podcast. You know, more about other women that are out there geocaching and
Yeah,
celebrities.
because
And
everyone has a neat story. Yeah, based on where they're living, their personal experiences, the goals they set for themselves, everyone has a neat story. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. So, what's one item that you always carry in your geocaching bag that others might find
Ooh,
unusual?
unusual.
Yeah.
So my favorite tweezer type thing looks like a medical device, some kind of
Okay.
medical clips. So I'm even sometimes nervous to take it on the plane. So if I have a checked bag, I'll definitely throw it there just so it doesn't catch anyone's eye. So yeah, my preferred tweezers are
Uh-huh.
odd looking. They're kind of long with a other long sharp
Okay.
nose. Yeah, and they don't open traditionally. So yeah, they're just kind of funny, but they're nice and long and pointed at the end.
Well, that sounds perfect for
And
geocaching.
so it's kind of traditional, but also maybe not the one everyone else grabs for. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, where would people find you if they wanted to reach out to directly? If they've got some questions for you,
Yeah.
uh, where's the best place to
So
find you?
one of my favorite things to do is to share geocaching photos on Instagram. So I think there's a fun geocaching community on Instagram. So I'm Emilierene there, Emilierene. So it's a little ring to my name. You can find me on Facebook, Emily McConaughey. Yeah, so those are the two best places to find me. And I love to talk geocaching. So I'll talk to anyone.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome, Emily. Thank you so
You
much.
know, for letting me talk geocaching with you.
Oh, absolutely. I could
I
talk
know, right?
geocaching
It's
all
so
day.
easy.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, it
yeah,
is.
awesome. Was there anything else that you'd like to share
Sure. I'll say
about?
one thing that I've been
Sure.
learning over the recent years, especially with all these statistics I'm going after. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Like I said, I was supposed to get triple Jasmer this year. It didn't happen. But that's a part of the story of my journey. And even, this year my mom and I went to Power Island in Michigan. And it's an island, so you want to get every cache on it. But there's one cache we couldn't get. And that's just a part of the story. We ran out of time because of the silliness that happened with another cache. And that's what I remember when I see that one green box that's not a smiley on my map. So it's just part of the story. It's okay. There's more adventures to be had. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I was following your story when you were going back to
Uh huh.
Georgia and also getting that.
that particular cache to get your last, was it the fourth?
No, just
Jasper?
my triple.
Yeah.
Triple,
and you-
triple.
right. Sorry. Yeah. So I was following that story when you were going back to get your triple Jasmer and saw that you were unable to because of the
Right.
storms.
We flew into
Right.
Georgia the
Yeah.
day the hurricane hit. And so on my first flight of the day, the cache that I needed to help me got disabled, and it just wasn't meant to be. So, oh well, I'll
Yeah.
have to go back to Georgia. I mean, what's wrong with that, right?
Right. And that's great
Yeah.
attitude. You know, things don't always work out the way we want them to, but often they work out even
That's
better.
right. And
You probably,
yeah, like planning my 2025, usually my trips just fall into my lap. Something sparks something else and it becomes an opportunity. And then you don't know, those opportunities are going to be really fun usually.
yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, it's been really fun chatting
Thank you,
with
Lisa.
you.
It's been very fun.
Yeah, thank you,
All right.
Emily. All right. Well, we'll see you on the trail soon. We're going to have to catch up for
Oh, I
geocaching.
would love to visit Spokane someday and go geocaching there.
That'd be great. And I would love to come down your
Yeah.
way. You're near Bend, is it?
I'm on the coast in Coos Bay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Coos Bay. Okay. Yeah, that's okay,
Beautiful
so a little
trip down the
bit
coast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been too
All right.
long. So,
Let's visit each other then.
yeah, for sure. Well, thank you again so much and have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you
All
soon.
right. See you on the trail.
Yeah, see you on the trail.
Geocaching isn't just about the finds, it's about the stories in between, like Emilie-Rene's journey toward a triple Jasmer that didn't go as planned. And yet, that's where the meaning lives. Next episode, we're heading into new caching territory with another amazing woman and her cache-worthy story. Stay tuned.